Welcome to your Careers Day, and I wanted to just share with you some information about the world of human resources and whether this might be a career that you want to consider in the future. My name's Sarah Hamilton Gill and I'm the Managing Director of Globus HR Consulting. I went into human resources in my mid-20s. It wasn't a career that I had even thought about when I was at school. I did the sciences for my A-levels and I had a career route that was planned to be a pharmacist, but that's another story. So I'm going to take you through what is human resources and how this could be a career for you and an option to consider. Human resources, well, what on earth does that mean? It used to be called, in the olden days, personnel management. In essence, it's all about the management of the staff and the people within a business or an organisation. So a human resources manager or officer, as they might be called, often works very closely with all the managers in the business and all the staff to make sure that the workplace is a great place to work and that people are happy, motivated and productive in what they do. It's a very interesting, it's a very complex role, but it's a huge amount of variety. You'll never get 2 days that are actually the same. So how do you actually get into the world of HR? Traditionally, you would have to go to university, you'd have to be a graduate, and then you'd probably join a graduate scheme to join some of the larger organisations. As you may know, most of the UK is made up of small businesses now. So there are various routes into HR. It might be through a graduate scheme, it might be through an apprenticeship, it may be through joining an organisation in an HR assistance role and working your way through and up the career ladder. There are lots of opportunities that are available, but the more academic you are, the more likely you are to get in and fast track your career. What subjects would I suggest that you focus on if you really do want to have a career in HR? Like I said, when I did my A-levels, I did maths, biology and chemistry, so that had nothing to do with human resources because I had no plans to go into HR. If you are wanting a career in HR, these are some of the subjects that you might find really useful in your career. Business studies is an underpinning subject that might be helpful in terms of understanding the world of work and how the various components of the business come together. HR managers tend to be much more IT savvy than they ever used to be, so it's important to have some IT literacy. English, there's a lot of communication that happens within the HR function, communicating out to the business with individuals, writing letters, writing contracts. Maths, again, there's more analytics taking place in the world of HR at the moment. And of course, there's the psychology side of it, and this is how you understand how people tick. Now, obviously, you can't do all of those subjects, but if you've got an interest in some of those, that would be really helpful. What kind of attributes might you need to be a good HR person? So you can see here, one of my top ones there is the good communicator. It doesn't mean to say you have to be a great communicator now, but these are the skills that you might want to consider developing as you go through your career. You might want to enjoy being part of a team because HR professionals tend to work in a team. They certainly work with many people across the business. Most environments are very, very busy when it comes to HR. So if you like the slower paces, then HR definitely isn't for you. If you want variety and you get bored easily, then again, HR is a great place to be because there's so much variety. No 2 days are the same. And it does kind of help if you have a bit of an interest in people, but it's not essential. So those are a couple of the attributes or some of the attributes that might be useful. As I mentioned before, what are the key routes into HR? University, graduate schemes, apprenticeships and administration or HR assistant routes in. It is possible to get into HR, but it is quite fiercely competitive. There is a professional body, it's called the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, and this is our overriding professional body that people join or become part of as they progress through their career. So again, you can have a look on Google CIPD. These are the key things that underpin our profession, and it's all about setting standards, an independent voice. We work very closely with the government in terms of policies. You'll have heard all the news about the COVID and what's happening with furloughing, with businesses, either people your friends, your family might have talked about this. HR is very much at the centre of all of this, and we're governed by our professional body. So what are the salaries like in HR? Well, they're pretty good actually. Starting salaries start at about 18,000. Some of the really top senior roles, 180,000 plus. So in fact, as an HR director in a corporate environment, you're more likely to earn more than the Prime Minister. So it's a great opportunity, good salaries, and of course that's not the only reason people go into HR, but obviously it does help, and there are lots of other perks and benefits that go with being in HR as well. And then once you've been in HR for a while, so this is just to paint the picture that, maybe you don't think you want to work with a big organisation. A lot of people after 5 to 10 years working in HR then come into HR consulting, and consulting is where you set up as a self-employed person and you provide services to a range of customers. And this is what I do, and I've been in HR consulting now for 26 years, so I have a broad range of customers in Hampshire and Dorset and other parts of the UK and internationally. And I work with lots of people, I have lots of variety, and I take all the knowledge I had from the corporate world and the businesses I worked with, and I work with smaller businesses. So plenty of opportunities to progress in the future. Again, in the future you might want more flexibility, you might not want to work in a big organisation, and this is a good future step for anybody as well. Those are my contact details. We're based in the New Forest. We serve clients UK and internationally. HR is a fantastic career to have, and if you're seriously considering it at the moment, it's worth looking at the selections and what you're doing with your A-levels or BTECs, and I hope to see you in the world of HR at some point.